What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how quarterbacks can throw like a five-star QB. So we're going to be looking at 4 clips here from five-star quarterbacks, how they throw the ball, some of the good things that they do, and some of the bad habits that they may have. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it can teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a quarterback and you want to improve your football IQ, you want to be able to read coverages, understand defenses, know what the defense is going to do before they do it, check out that very first link in the description below where you can get access to over 400 different videos on how to read defenses. Right here, what you're looking at is our Cover 4 playlist. We probably have 85 videos all on Cover 4, and we have all of our other coverage breakdowns organized into playlists. So if you guys want access to this, like the Netflix for quarterbacks, check out that very first link in the description below, fellas. We'd love to get you on that. Let's get started with this video. So I think one thing that, definitely separates, a regular high school recruit from, maybe a five-star guy, a highly recruited guy is arm strength. So this is Arch Manning right here, and I want to talk about how he's able to get his weight back to generate power. So as a quarterback, you got to understand that so many guys think that all of their throw power comes from their arms, when in reality, throw power comes from your legs and from your hips. If you guys are familiar with our channel, we talk a lot about that. So you got to be able to have weight loaded on your back leg, weight shifted back to be able to generate throw power. So many quarterbacks will throw from this position right here. You see when Manning is back here in his base, he's got a very wide base. He's got a lot of weight on his front side. A lot of quarterbacks will just throw from there. But to be able to generate power, you have to take weight from your back leg and transfer it to your front leg. You have to be able to get that weight and shift it forward, because that weight shift, that weight transfer is how your hips can rotate through. But if you already have your weight loaded on the front side, you don't have any hip rotation. That foot will end up trailing behind your body, and you will be making this throw all with your upper half. If you're a quarterback who has a lot of elbow issues, shoulder issues, that's usually why, because you're not engaging your hips. So you see when Manning goes to make this throw, what does he do? He shifts his weight back. He gets that back foot underneath his back shoulder. This is the spot that we need every single quarterback to get to. What I like to say to my guys is you want to try to get your knee to your pinky toe. That's like a good gauge to know that your weight is back and your back foot is in a good spot. Because now, look what happens. He could shift that weight through. He could take that weight that's loaded on that back leg and transfer it to the front leg. Because now that transfer, watch what it does. Those hips start to go through before the ball does. Something that so many quarterback coaches try to do is they try to have all their guys throw the same. They try to coach every single guy the same way. They try to get them to have the exact same motion. Every single quarterback is different. Every single quarterback throws the ball different because they're a different body type. Everybody's different as even humans. So you got to make sure that you're doing the key things that a lot of these quarterbacks have in common, not trying to adopt their entire throwing style. But one of the key things that you see a lot of top tier guys have is they have that hip rotation. They're able to keep their weight back. They're able to transfer to get the hips to rotate through. And when that can happen, that takes pressure off your arm, and you could throw 100 plus throws without even having that arm get tired, because you were using your legs and you were using your hips. So make sure, fellas, if you're that guy who's serious about playing college football, you want to play college quarterback, you have to have that kind of style. Take that pressure off your arm. Let's use your legs and your hips to develop that arm strength and that velocity on the ball. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. This is a great job by Arch Manning. Make sure that we do not keep that weight loaded on the front side. Let's shift my weight back so I can drive the ball and get my hips involved with the throw. Okay, so now another thing that I feel a lot of quarterbacks that play at that five-star level. This is Nico Iamaleava, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. Not 100% sure. Sure it's wrong. But everybody probably knows who this is. Tennessee commit, five-star guy. I think he's the best quarterback in the class. And the way he takes the ball back, a lot of quarterbacks think that this is the sole way to throw the ball. There are some key things that you want to emphasize with his throwing motion, because this kick can flat out rip. But everybody's different, like I was saying. So let's play this full speed. He's throwing like this back shoulder fade. This is a 7-on-7 clip. I normally don't like talking about 7-on-7 clips, but this is the close-up angle that we had, so I like this angle. So when he goes to throw, he gets to this opposite L position right here. Now, this is not a perfect position that every single quarterback needs to get to, right? You look at him when he throws the ball, this ball is below his elbow. To a lot of people, that's a bad habit, but his arm is so freaking fast, he's got so much twitch to the ball that it doesn't even matter. Some people like to hold this football a little bit above the elbow. Then some people like to have the ball right even with their elbow. It does not matter as long as you get to some kind of backstroke position. Like I said, every single quarterback throws the ball different. Everybody has different attributes to their game. But when you look at these top tier guys, you look at these guys who are five-star recruits, the guys going to Alabama, the guys going to Clemson, the guys going to these big Power 5 schools, they all have some kind of, people like the Elite 11 guys call it a stroke. And I like that terminology, the way they take the ball back. Because when you guys can get to here, you create that like whipping effect with your motion. Because what did we talk about in the last clip? We talked about hip rotation, right? So when you're loaded on the back leg's underneath your back shoulder, your weight is back, you're in a good explosive spot. What are we trying to do with that weight? We're trying to transfer it through. But if you guys go to transfer through, and let's say you're lifting the ball directly to 90, what ends up happening is your sequence is off. You want to get to this like opposite L or backstroke, as I like to call it, when you are transferring weight. Because now that hip rotation can add that whipping effect to the arm. The hips go through before the ball goes through. Now, if he were to just lift the ball right to here as the foot strike was getting down, his elbow would lead, his shoulder would lead, and his upper half would go through before his hips go through. That puts a ton of pressure on your shoulder, on your elbow, and we don't have velocity on the ball. All these five-star guys, fellas, all these guys that are D1 level quarterbacks, they all have that velocity, that twitch to the ball. And the game is constantly evolving, and you're seeing it more and more because these kids are getting well coached. So when that ball goes back, you need it to be in some kind of backstroke. Does not have to be this low, does not have to be a little bit higher, does not have to be a perfect L. But we need some kind of backstroke so that hip rotation can bring the ball up to 90, and that ball can trail behind the hips, just like that Arch Manning clip. He is throwing all leg and all hips, and that's how these guys can throw fastball after fastball without their arm getting tired. So make sure, fellas, if you're trying to make that jump, you want to play college football, you look at any NFL quarterback, find me one that's elite, that doesn't take the ball back like that. It's pretty hard to, because that's how the body works. That's the biomechanics of the body and how you can generate more power and more velocity on your throws. That's textbook throw from Nico. Let's watch the thing again, full speed one more time. Great job keeping his weight back, transferring through, and letting his hips and shoulders make that throw. All right. So we're looking at another clip here from Arch Manning, and this has not as much to do with like throwing mechanics, right? This has a lot to do with being an athlete. So, like I said before, quarterback position is constantly evolving. You're seeing new and new things, the different arm angles. People love to talk about that nowadays. I think half of it's crap, but, a lot of people love to talk about that. People love to throw the off-platform throws. A lot of it's really flashy, but you're seeing quarterbacks turn more into athletes, right? You're seeing a lot of colleges want that. A lot of Power 5 schools, they're recruiting the dual threat guys. You see Alabama starting to recruit dual threat guys. So you have to be able to run this zone read. So what is a zone read? So we're going to play this full speed. This is Arch Manning running a zone read, right? Now, again, he's probably your prototypical pocket passer quarterback, you would say, from just looking at the guy. He's a big kid. He could throw the ball, but he's still somewhat of an athlete. And that's what you need. I'm not saying you got to be a 4.3, 4.4 40 guy to be successful with this. You just got to know what you're doing. You got to be somewhat athletic. So when you're doing a zone read, what the concept is they're leaving this end unblocked. We're trying to read this end. We're putting the ball back to my running back. We're giving him a line, and my eyes go straight to him. I am reading his body language. Now, this is flat out a wrong read here by Arch Manning. He just pulls this thing. He probably shouldn't have pulled this thing, because what we're looking for is we're looking for this guy to commit his hips and shoulders. But, when you look at this guy, he's definitely not as good of an athlete as Arch Manning. This does not look like they're probably on the same level of competition in terms of play style or playability. So he probably could just beat him with speed to the outside. He doesn't have to worry about it. And a lot of times you see Lamar Jackson do that all the time in the NFL. But you got to be able to make these types of plays. Colleges are looking for that. If you're trying to be that D1 guy, you got to be able to stand out athletically as well. Like I said, don't have to be a 4.4 guy, but you got to be able to showcase speed. So on a real read, when this guy stays square with his hips and shoulders and he doesn't commit to the run, like he doesn't turn his shoulders downhill, hips downhill, you should be giving that thing to your running back every time. Because when he stays square and he pulls this thing, that should be an easy play. This guy hesitates. If he doesn't hesitate, that's a tackle for loss. So that's not the greatest read here from Manning, but showcases his speed and showcases his athleticism, which is what they are looking for in five-star guys. That's what you have to be able to do if you want to play college football. Now, I understand stars don't mean a damn thing. Like, it's just a flashy thing that everybody loves to flaunt around, the stars. But if you want to play college football nowadays, you have to be able to do this kind of stuff. You got to be able to make plays with your feet. You got to be a play extender. You have to extend the play and sometimes make plays like this. Let's watch the thing full speed one more time. This is a play that, colleges probably want to see on film. They maybe want to see a better read, but, they want to see you break a couple tackles. They want to see that you are an athlete. All right, last clip I want to show here from Nico. And I just want to include this because, a lot of people think like, especially if you're that like 8th grade, 7th grade guy, high school guy, and you've been around guys who are high level recruits. And, you maybe see them in person, you see them in practice, and you think that, oh, they just never have a bad ball. They never do anything bad with their mechanics. They don't have anything to work on. There are plenty of stuff that these people have to work on. It's just like any other quarterback. They have things that they need to clean up. They have things that they need to do better, or things that they can do better to make them more successful at the next level. Right? So we're going to look at this clip here and we're going to see an overstride here. So this overstride I want to talk about. This is something that quarterbacks at all levels have, where they take a big, long front stride and your feet are insanely wide. So that comes from you maybe not, because what did we talk about in that first clip? You want to keep your weight back and you want to shift your weight. You don't want to push off of the foot, but that's what he kind of does. And when he pushes off of that foot, watch what happens. His shoulders end up going ahead of his hips and that foot trails behind. So that puts a lot of stress on the shoulder, on the elbow. And that's a problem that a lot of guys have that are in high school that don't have the offers, don't have the recruiting the profiles and all that crap. So I just show this to tell you guys that there are things that these guys need to work on. There are things that any guy, any quarterback, even NFL guys, they may not need to get better at some of the bigger concepts, but some of these guys still need to get better. They still need to improve. It's the same thing as us, because a lot of people get discouraged. A lot of people will see that, oh, he's got an offer to Alabama. I'm never going to get an offer because, I can't throw a spiral on this certain throw, or, I have an overstride. They never overstride. They got plenty of things that they can work on, and it's just you don't see that because nobody publicizes that. They try to make these people out to be Jesus or something where they can't make a mistake. Just know that, and just know that it's a long road, and all you need is one school to be able to take a chance on you. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Again, just showcasing the overstride. Obviously, you didn't do that on the first clip that we saw, but there are things that quarterbacks at every single level need to work on, so just don't get discouraged. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comments section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you'd like 400 plus videos on how quarterbacks can read defenses, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.